time. So guys, I am so excited to bring up our next, we are fashionably late. Yes, exactly. So we are a little fashionably late right now, a couple, 3 minutes. So I want to bring up now our next panelists. We have Terry, Cusse, and Catalina. Where is she? She is there. Yay. Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Good morning from Denver. It's still morning.
From Denver. I love Denver.
Hello.
Are you from Denver or are you from Florida? Which one?
I listen, now I'm going back and forth. The family's here in Denver, so I'm back and forth, and enjoy my United.
I love it. I love it.
All the perks.
Guys, I'm so excited for this panel discussion that we're going to have, and we're ready to move on. And I want to kind of hop on something that Sally had said, and that is like, what is your superpower? You know, so I know we have some questions that I want to ask. We're going to get into tech and business and entrepreneurship because that's how we activate, how Latinas activate, right? Whether you're a professional thinking about a side hustle, or you already have a side hustle, or you're full-blown entrepreneur, that's what this panel is about, because that is one way that we can activate ourselves, is to make sure that we have skill sets that can transfer into its own business, right? Because people need our skills. We are fire. So I know we are short and I don't want to be cut off on our time. So I want to give the mic to you guys, but I would love to start with like a quick little intro on each of you. And then what do you think your superpower is? We'll start with you, Terry.
Awesome. So hi, everyone. My name is Terry Grandal. I am the founder and CEO of Grantify and also Impactify, where I help organizations of all types with fund-seeking services, tech implementation, and internationalization initiatives. And as for a superpower, connections. I see connections that others don't usually see right away. So I help them activate what that looks like. See what I did there, though?
Love it. Go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Suplicy, founder and CEO of Raven Ops. We are your virtual COO. So through my time at the Chamber of Commerce and in other places, I've met a lot of startups and entrepreneurs and small businesses that they just can't afford to bring on somebody full time. And those are the people that need it the most. And also a lot of project management, right? So how are we implementing tech into everything, because it runs my life, so it should run everybody's life. I once upon a time didn't think I have any superpowers until I did Clifton Strength Finders. And if you find your top 5, my top strength is my superpower. I'm strategic. So that is my top strength. That is my superpower, because we are thinking here. I've already thought of every solution and thing that could happen, and my brain is just strategizing constantly. So I'm constantly taking that to every client that I have and everything that I do, unfortunately, or fortunately.
Fortunately.
Let's go with fortunately.
It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of thinking.
And I would love to hear from the audience. What is your superpower? Chat. We need to start putting these things out there, even if you may shift it in a day or two, right? Put it out there. What is your superpower? What do you believe to be your strengths? Because we want to bring those to surface. We could start fueling all of that. But I love everything what you both just shared. Let's get into some tech and some business side, because again, we do have some entrepreneurs here. And I know that there are a lot of barriers that happen with Latinas, especially regardless of the fact we are starting businesses 6 times faster than most people. There's still a failure rate, right? There's still a lot of baggage that goes with that. So we really want to understand, like, what are the barriers out there? And then how can we overcome some of those barriers? So Terry, we'll start with you again. Like, what are some of the barriers? You I love what you're doing, because everybody here in this space, and we will be doing more with you, can tap into some of your knowledge. But share with us, what are some maybe barriers that you faced and you've seen so far as being a Latina starting a business or going entrepreneurial?
I think there's several, but I would say the first one, which was the shocking one to me, because some of it you kind of understand, was the fact that it was, when I said I was doing this full time, it was received by some as, oh, that's cute, you'll be back in the corporate soon. Like, you'll get tired of that. That's not. And I was like, the heck? I felt so insulted. I was like, what are you trying to say? So I don't know if it was because I was Latina or female or whatever it was, but I was like, this is not the first time I do my own thing. So like, it was just, that was one that I found challenging because it was like the lack of faith when it was when that's not when it was needed. But at the same time, I turned everything into a positive. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna show it. So I think that's one. But I think also, you mentioned the failure. The true factual one is we do have limited access to capital, and we all look for capital. And I think it was mentioned a little while ago, you know, we need funding. So being able to diversify where we're looking for that funding is huge, because you have it for different reasons. Whether you're launching a product or a service, that initial capital is crucial.
I love that. It's so true, because that's kind of one of the things that always comes up. If we had more money, what would we do with it? If
Yes.
you had, and this is for everybody in the audience, if you had, let's say, $500,000 right now, what would you do with it? And unless we start thinking in that practical sense of what would I do with $500,000 for my business, we won't ever get that $500,000. So start thinking in that moment of, we need to be prepared to answer those.
And to that effect, it's interesting because so men who launch businesses, they already launch knowing that they're going to ask for money, whether it's through loans or VC or whatever it is, where women usually pick in their own pockets. And there's a whole thing. It's like, never use your own money to launch a business, right? Women are not like that. We are the last to ask for assistance and ask for help. So we'll dive into our own personal savings or retirement accounts or whatever it is to not ask for help. And it's actually a detriment.
Yeah. We'll love your thoughts on that, Kat. So true, Terry.
Yeah, because we deserve it, right? Like, I feel like one of the things as a first gen Brazilian, you know, not only are we female, not only do we already feel like, oh, should I? Am I? You know, because especially, I don't know, for me, immigrating to the United States, you have that thing is like, you get there and you go to college and you go to, you know, you're in this box. And you're desperately trying to prove yourself, right? You're desperately trying to straighten your hair and lose your accent and try to fit in desperately. So I feel like a lot of those challenges is just overcoming that. Because again, men walk up and they know they belong. So like, how do we, in an authentic way, you know what I mean? I feel like us women and us Latinas, as long as we're showing up authentically, you know, that's half the battle right there. We deserve to be here. This is my seat. You better fight me for it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's the struggle, right? So we do not advocate for ourselves enough. So why aren't we? Question: why aren't we advocating for ourselves enough so that we feel confident in our abilities? Because all of us have a Swiss Army knife of skill sets in your particular area. Why aren't we executing and owning that? And why do you feel, why do you feel that we're not, what is the thing that's stopping us from saying, hold up, let me speak up on this because I have the knowledge in this particular area. Why do you feel are some of the blocks?
Lack of confidence.
I think lack of confidence for sure. No, yeah, but it's, through so many women leadership development that I've been doing recently, you find all of these women, and as for us, it's sometimes later in life, right? Especially us Latinas, because we're family people. So it's like, first, we're never thinking of us. It's like, oh, the kid, the family, the thing. And as we get older, the mom, the parent, the sister, the blah, blah. And we don't put ourselves first. We never stop because do we have the time? Are we given the space to stop and say, what about me, right? How am I showing up for me? So I think a lot of it is that as in society, we're not giving the time and space to think of us.
That I agree 100%. That we're seen as selfish when you think about yourself. And unfortunately, if you do stand up, if you do come with confidence, then it's seen as a negative attribute versus a positive. It's like, Kat, you mentioned earlier, a man walks into a room, he acts like he belongs there, whether he does or not. And you're like, this buffoon, right? But then a woman who does belong there is sitting there, she's probably in the back seat or in the corner and staying quiet because then I'm too abrasive, I'm too, ambitious, whatever it is. It's always
the other B word.
So it's walking that fine line. How am I a boss without being a bitch? Pardon my French. Sorry. It's that line, and I think that makes it difficult, and it's just an added layer of stress to what you are trying to do.
Absolutely. Did you want to add something to that, Kat?
Oh no.
Yeah,
Thumbs up.
that is so true. How many of you listening are not like, really executing that voice? I know that in my early career as a professional, me quedé calladita, even though I knew I was like, these guys aren't addressing this thing. And at that, I was in my early 20s, and I was like, I'm in a room full of all men, and I didn't speak up at that moment because I'm like, who am I to speak up? This who am I thinking is what we need to shift.
Right.
At any point in life is stop thinking the who am I to say this, and say what you believe is right. And that is how we start changing these narratives and getting people and getting ourselves to be at the point where we are like, hold up, I got something to say about this. And then,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
So let's go into like some practical tools, because you guys are both entrepreneurs. We're like techie people. We've talked about Airtable, all these tools we are passionate about that make business life a little bit easier. And we're big fans of Airtable here at United Latinas. But amongst other things, what do you feel are some like backbone tools or infrastructures that we need as Latinas to operate a business today? What do you guys think? Go ahead with Terry.
Well, for one, find ways to automate the mundane tasks, right? That's the overall, and how you do that is the first thing is understanding what are the things that are preventing you from doing your day job, right? If you are working for a company, what is that's taking away that time and the energy from what you are actually meant to be doing. If you are an entrepreneur, then the same applies, but to your organization. What are the things that, you hire people to do certain things, but if they're bogged down with like emails or little tasks that could be automated, then you're hurting your productivity and your efficiency. And so like I use one that drives me crazy. It's calendars, right? Because you want to meet with somebody and then you're going back and forth. You spend like 3 days trying to bug down a date and a time. I use Motion, which does everything for me. It manages my tasks. It tells me, I tell it, okay, especially like with grants, right? I have projects, I have deadlines, I have several ones. I put in all my thing. I created a template. So every time it's like I identify something as a grant project, it automatically adds all the tasks that I need to do for that grant for me and puts it in my calendar. So it tells me what I need to prioritize on a daily basis. And then it has the booking link that, I just put it on everywhere and you book my time.
But the best booking link, because the AI is built in. I use Motion too. Sorry, we really geek out over this stuff. I use Motion in like I have several different clients, right? So it's perfect because you can do different workspaces. So for example, let's say Latinas United is a client and I know I committed 10 hours a week. So I'm going to put there 10 hours a week and it will block time. It will block into chunks and it will get in there. And now it's yelling at me that I have overdue tasks, right? Yes. So it will keep you in line. And the booking link, it has AI built in. So it will actually give you your preferred meeting times. It's fantastic. It's just, oh my God, it's amazing.
It saves so much time. When people are like, hey, can we schedule a meeting? Sure, here's my link. Find a time that works for you. And then I have everything on there. So it's going to book at a time, like Kat just mentioned, that I want too. So.
And if your tasks are there and they're in danger, it won't book a meeting because it knows that you're busy. God, I love AI. Yeah. But moving into other things, everybody needs to meet Chatty, as Terry and I call ChatGPT. Chatty is our friend. We were literally just chatting, as before this, a new way that I just discovered how to use ChatGPT. You're building a new thing or you're online and you can't find something, right? Like you need to fix your GoDaddy and you're going through all the manuals and FAQs and whatever. Drop that link into ChatGPT. Make it learn everything. Then you ask it questions. How do I update my domain? How do I fix this DNS issue? Copy paste issue. What does it mean? How do I fix it? I was like, amazing. But yeah, it's finding those things that take forever. It's like if AI can do it for me, then I can be doing something else.
Love it. Go ahead, Terry. Did you want to share?
I was just going to add one other one that we need to start looking at more closely, and it's Copilot, which is by Microsoft. It is powered by ChatGPT, but what they're starting to do, and it's not fully out yet, but what they're starting to do, especially for organizations on the data and the reporting, without having to do so much of the manual data compilation, is amazing. So that's my current geeking out situation that I got going on.
Yeah. We gotta
Because
talk about it.
yes, we have to talk because, if you want to do a data report, traditionally, you have to put all the data in Excel, make sure that it's clean and blah, 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 before you can even do the reports. And then you play with it, the pivot tables, which not everybody is a fan of. I love pivot tables. Everybody else does not. With Copilot, it doesn't matter where the data is, as long as it's in one of the Office suites, you ask the questions and it grabs it from everywhere, whether it's Excel,
Stop it.
PowerPoint, Word, SharePoint, whatever, and puts it together and generates it. Okay.
I love it.
Just
I love
needed to
it.
have like that moment. Now,
Wait,
I
and
know.
the other,
Okay.
Scribe.
Oh, yes.
Scribe has been saving my life. If you don't know about Scribe, it's free, because I always find the free version of things. So like Airtable, I'm sorry, Airtable, if you're listening, I refuse to pay for you because I will find the shortcut to keep it free. But Scribe, you have the Google Chrome shortcut, and it literally creates training manuals. So let's say I build an Airtable for somebody, and I was like, how am I going to train this person? Scribe. Click every click that you do, it takes a screenshot, and AI gives you like the detail. Click here, press Control-Alt-C, and like automatically does it. One click, one share. Now my client has it. Now I never have to walk them how to walk that Airtable again.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And I was just going to add, so like for those that are non-techie, right? We're geeking out because we're in tech and we're always in it. But on the non-tech side, it could be overwhelming to hear, right? There's always something new. Just talked about something.
True.
I think, to try to make it more bite-sized for those of you that are not in tech, would love to learn something, do something, but don't know where to start. Again, start with your own needs. What would be something, if you had a magic power right now, that you would love to, a task that you would love to not be doing? Right? Start there. And then there is a website that there's an AI for that, where you can go search that. It's like, there's an app for that. It's a new version. And you can search based on what it is, right? So if I don't want to build my social media calendar, well, there's an AI that can help you with that. So put it in there, and then you can look at what the options are. And to Kat's point, find the free ones first so you can start playing with it. Don't go crazy. And Sandra, you and I spoke about this in a different panel. Don't go crazy, because then you can become a hoarder of software and then not know what you have going on.
I tend to have this problem because I start trying one and trying one and trying one. I'm like, oh, I love this one, but I love that one. One day I'm just going to build my own. I swear it's going to happen. Yeah. But it can get overwhelming because you just have so much.
Absolutely.
And talk to your techie friends, because we will help you figure this stuff out. There's nothing that I love more than helping people figure out how to use new tech. So yes.
Oh my gosh, guys, this panel has been amazing, with amazing tools. Guys, if you don't know, and I just saw something come through on the prompts, we will be doing actual workshops inside the hub with how do you prompt a computer? How do you prompt ChatGPT? So stay tuned for that. Make sure that you are inside our hub, because those are going to come soon. But I love everything that you just shared, Terry and Kat. I think that if you guys connect with them, make sure that you are connected with them on LinkedIn. We have their LinkedIn. You'll see it inside this chat space. But these are dope people. Like, when we think about building community and making sure that we have the people around us that are not only going to energize us, but also like are solution driven, like, hey, try this or do that. I love you guys for that. I love what you just shared, and thank you so much for everything. And there's going to be more. We're going to be doing together, because this is so important. Yes.
Thank you for having us. This was awesome. This is fun.
Yes. Amazing. And you also put your LinkedIn in the chat. I told Ileana just shared the LinkedIn, but reshare it in there, because people do want to connect with you and they want to know more of what you just shared. So, gracias.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Gracias. Obrigado.
Yeah. Yes.